Hello everyone, my name is Ben and welcome back to PASSTHEauxCORD, a channel where if you ever want to be just as frustrated as me, all you gotta do is go on Amazon and buy a cheap pop filter. Last time around we looked at the debut by Arctic Monkeys, and today we're taking a look at their second album, their sophomore album, called Favorite Worst Nightmare. Wanted to make sure I got that right real quick, but this one is much shorter than the last title, which is a little bit appreciated, I must say. I've heard really good things about this one, as I did about the debut. This seems like it's a lot of people's favorite. The debut seems like it's a huge favorite for some people as well. I'm thinking we're gonna get some really great stuff on this album, and I'm just really excited to get into it. So without any further ado, our first track here is called Brainstorm, which is a bit of a play on Brainstorm. I believe our protagonist's name is Brian here from what I read. Alright, coming straight into it with a really solid riff here. Oh, that's really nice. I like that quite a bit. Very catchy qualities to that first verse. Liked it a lot. Oh, the way it's stripping back a little bit here. It's really cool, getting a little bit of diversity in there. That bass line. So good. The drums here are so good. The way it just really stands out like that. And the explosivity of it all coming back in. Oh shit, it's still going. I really love when they do that, make the song sound like it's ended and then it isn't. Okay, so that track is really compelling in my eyes. Reading up on the little bio on the side here, when asked to say a little bit about the song's protagonist, Alex Turner replied, "I can't remember Brian now. I don't know if he were in my imagination or what." I think that's a typo. "It's a blank spot in my brain. I think that's what he wanted." That's pretty cool. So this is some sort of person that Alex maybe imagined up, maybe met. He's not really sure by the looks of it. I think that's kind of cool. Very mysterious character here, our Brian guy. Seems like he has one hell of a personality one way or the other. So our next track is Teddy Picker. I'm not really sure if Brian is going to be featured later on along here, but I mean, his song, one way or the other, wherever Brian is, he had a pretty good song. That's a really strong way to end off the chorus. So definitely talking about fame on this track and how it's kind of rigged. Nice. Very nice little plucky guitar notes here. There's a big menacing riff and then there's a smaller riff going on in here, and it's just a really nice duo going on here. I love these fast vocals. Nice. Alright, that track took a pretty typical style and sound for Arctic Monkeys at this point, but there were some really nice fine-tuned details about it, like the fact that there were two different riffs, like I said, going on in the guitar solo there. There was a much more mellow, kind of atmosphere-based riff going on in there, while there was still that big menacing riff chugging along through it. And the vocal styling is kind of switching up everywhere. That was definitely nice as well. I like the lyricism on here a lot, comparing Fame to a claw machine, I guess, as we would call them in the US. I'm not really sure if they have that term around there or not, but that's what this is referring to, and the fact that it is commonly believed that that sort of thing is rigged, and also focusing on the fact that everybody wants fame until they get it, and until it's not all as great as it seems. And especially with this being their second album ever, I could totally picture them coming from that point of view, that perspective, because now they have this newfound fame and don't know how to deal with it yet. Really cool song. I like that one a lot. D is for Dangerous is the name of the next one. Alright. We got some more of those backing vocals coming in there. That's really nice. Gives it that punkier sound. Oh, we got the title of the album here. Now you know it's serious business. Oh, and then it picks up even more. Nice. Yeah, I cannot praise this little bridge section enough. This is really cool. I hear these little harmonies in the background from the backing vocals there. The drumming has definitely stepped up a notch on this album. I've noticed that right away. I mean, it's not super intricate or anything, but... Oh, I love that. Where is my mouse? Yeah, definitely my favorite one here so far, just because of the relentless attitude to it while still putting in some really cool things. Like, they are doing a lot more intricate work with the instrumentation on this album, I've already noticed, where certain things kind of drop out, come back in, certain things build up really well. They're pretty much pushing the boundary of what exactly you can do to remain interesting while using very regular instruments. But this track is most definitely about some sort of love interest, maybe from the point of view of a friend or a person who at least knows both of them, talking about you should know you're his favorite worst nightmare. So this person is very appreciated by their significant other, but they're still kind of a nightmare to deal with. Pretty clever wording of everything. I think that it all just has a lot of charm and charisma to it, which I like a lot. Charismatic and full of personality is a great way to describe this song, I have to say. Balaclava is the name of the next song, and I really hope that I'm not making an ass of myself by mispronouncing that. Good bass line already. And I like these faster vocals that he's laying down every once in a while in here. Oh, that riff! God damn! That is hitting so heavy. The way everything has sounded on this album so far is just so ideal. Now it's slowing way down. Fuck, that's good. It just keeps getting better too. Damn! This is really neat. Just that steady bass line. The bass playing and the drumming here is so much better. Okay, so I was thinking that the term balaclava sounded at least vaguely familiar. I should have definitely known what it was, but I went ahead and looked that up. It is a ski mask, essentially. And that ties in really well with exactly what I was picking up on as far as themes go in this particular track. This is definitely about a love triangle kind of thing going on, where this girl is cheating on two different guys essentially, but one of them knows it, one of them doesn't, at least from what I can draw from this, but there's some suspicion going on there. It's kind of a tense situation by the looks of it, and the guy who is cheating with her is keeping on this balaclava to hide the identity so that, you know, there's a little bit more anonymity with this experience that they're sharing here. Yeah, showing off kind of these more toxic sides of relationships like the last track really did. I feel like they're addressing much different issues on this album than they did with the last one, but it still seems like it's taking kind of a similar approach where kind of showing some vignettes of certain situations and certain people. It's like just a set of different perspectives or stories. We had Brian on the first track, and then the next track's about fame, and then the next two after that so far are about toxic relationship scenarios. However, they do seem very different from one another. Fluorescent Adolescent is the name of the next track, and I'm really excited to hear this one because I know it's some people's favorite. Oh wow. Once again, kind of bringing that surf rock sound back. I mean, at least that's how I'm hearing it. Maybe it's just my ears, but maybe this is a similar situation to the last one. There's something very nostalgic about the sound of this one. It's just kind of bringing back a very certain set of moods to it. I do really like the refrain on the bridge here. Oh, wrapping back around. Oh, and we got the second vocals in here. This sounds really nice. Okay, so that was definitely a lyrically and sonically compelling track by far. I would definitely give it that. It has one of the most unique sounds that stands out from the rest of the Arctic Monkeys styles and trends that I've noticed between all of their songs. This one has one of the most standout features to it. It does kind of have that surf rock vibe to it that I had mentioned a couple times on the debut album anyways. And it is definitely just a really peaceful atmosphere, a very nostalgic vibe kind of to it. And it seems like the tone in the lyrics is definitely taking a similar approach as far as that goes. This is about a woman who used to be more adventurous with sexual partners by the looks of it. Things are just getting less and less exciting for the person that is being talked to in the second person type narrative here. Second person perspective, I should say, is kind of a woman that's going into middle age. Instead of fishnets, there's a night dress. I mean, it's, you know, all kind of pointing towards that. You're getting older towards that middle age area, and now you're losing some of the connections that you had with people, some of the more adventurous attitude and the fun things that you used to do. It's a song about missing that kind of attitude and having that while you're young. Very nice track in general though. I really appreciated all of it. I can definitely see why that's some people's favorite. The noon bells are going off, and I have no idea if you guys can hear them through both the pop filter, the microphone, and my window. Hopefully you cannot because it's really obnoxious, but I am going to tune it out with only ones who know the next song on. Such a peaceful atmosphere already. I really like that we're going for that again. Getting for some slow down moments, a little bit more sentimental moments.
And the heart that he was stealing, oh, he was ready to. And even if somehow we could.
Wow, this really caught me off guard. Very emotional tendency to this that just really is appealing.
They made it far too easy to believe, showing you the place you wanted. Well,
Wow. That sounds so nice. You're really gonna just hit me with that halfway through the album? This relates to me way too much for me to just be describing on camera right now. Damn. Okay, well, that's like up there in my favorite songs now. Just like that. I mean, talking about the connection that I have to this song and what it really means is somewhat obvious, I guess. The point of this song is that there was a friend or love interest or whatever it may have been that this narrator of our track lost touch with over time, and everything that he envisioned in his mind with how it would work out just didn't work out as he got older, and this whole scenario that had played out in his head just isn't the case. And this is this grand sense of disillusionment with the past and the fact that none of that is ever really gonna happen. That sentiment hits really heavy for me. I can't relate to the exact situation that our narrator is in, but this sense of nothing really turns out the way that you thought it was when you were really young, and this just perfectly encapsulates that to me in a way that I just didn't really feel like I was gonna be dealing with today, honestly. Do Me a Favor is the name of the next song. and it's spelled with a U, which I believe is a... As I was saying, I think the U in Favour is a UK thing, if I'm not incorrect, but we'll see how this one plays out. Coming straight into it with the drums. You know I love to see it. Drums and bass again, man. That's all I'm noticing, I feel like. It's all just played so well on here, though. Fuck, this album is getting me so sentimental today. Damn. I don't know why I wasn't expecting any of this, but like, wow.
And the eyes were all red. You could see that we'd cried, and curiosity becomes a heavy load.
Wow. Whoa. God damn. Holy shit. I can't deal with this right now. Sounds so good too. This album has me traveling so far down memory lane. I wasn't expecting this. This just all hits really heavy for me, and certain thoughts that I was having lately, looking back at the past, especially with just how chaotic things are right now, looking back on some of those good high school teenage memories. I mean, if you're still in that situation, hopefully sooner rather than later it'll be more safe, more practical, and just a better idea to go out and make some of those memories. But my biggest advice would be to make those memories and have those experiences, because looking back on everything, the way this is just affecting me is just so much heavier than I expected. At its base level, this is a breakup song, but between the sound of it and the way everything is presented and the very beating yourself up kind of attitude of our narrator here, the huge lack in self-confidence and self-worth, I feel like most people at some point can totally relate to that. Beautiful track. I can't believe I'm liking this much better than the debut so far. I mean, that was a fantastic album, and I'm still having a hard time even comparing them at this point. This House is a Circus is the name of the next song. Well, that's kind of an eerie little melody there. It's kind of cool. Wow! That riff really showed up. You're hitting me with that second melody going on there too. Once again, kind of eerie sounding, like our intro here. That is just... wow. The sounds used on this album are just really unique. Nice. That had some energy. Oh, and it had a really solid transition there, too. Okay, so that song was by far the closest to the last album out of anything that I've really heard here so far. This song definitely has a party attitude to it. I feel like they're just up in some sort of like frat house, that kind of scenario, but it's also kind of a metaphor for the people in the house. Either way, just a track about partying hard, being wild, and just having that partying lifestyle that the last album focused so much on. Now, it does seem a little bit redundant, but it sounded so fucking good that why would I complain? It does seem like they're kind of treading already crossed ground at this point, though. If You Were There, Beware is the name of the next song. Wow. That build-up was good as fuck, man. The metal influence on Arctic Monkeys is just a lot more evident than I would ever expect. These are some pretty heavy riffs, and there's always this double side to it, where there's a very calm aspect to the song as well. As I'm saying it, it just switches up again. How do they do it, man? Whoa, the way that they're just so seamlessly able to come in and hit us with such a hard-hitting riff. Alex Turner's backing vocals, the non-lyrical vocals going on in the bridges are really nice. Wow. There's a feeling of hopelessness to the mix here. Very intriguing. Oh, and they're doing it to us again! Okay, so that track was about the media harassing an ex-girlfriend of Alex Turner, according to the information that I've read on it, which does certainly add up in the lyrics, talking about the annoying media people who just want some information about him, about something he's done, about anything at all, and it's just bothering the loved ones of the very famous person. Now, this kind of wraps back around to that second track, giving kind of a critique of fame, talking about some of the bad things that come along with it. The Bad Thing is the name of the next song, which is a very indescriptive title that makes me rather curious. Oh, that's what the bad thing is. There's these fast vocals again. Really like that. But when there's no excuses, that's much easier to say. I've been as too good for her to ignore. So she's talking. The speed of this one is really nice. So we have some very obvious song topic going on here. Tragedy is true, and I knew how she not she could have be a big mistake for you to wait and have me waste your time. Really love it. Oh wow! And then the first time it's that there was something. Dang! That is no excuse. Wow. Okay, so I would by no means call that one of my favorites. It's definitely going to be in that bottom 3 for me, but it was still a pretty good song, and I like that it did a little bit more than it could have with its topical substance. Now, a recurring theme seems to be cheating partners, that sort of idea, and this is a song that is only about that at its very base level, but I do like that it is more of a critique of that rather than a song either endorsing or just kind of talking about a story that involves that. It is saying that the people who are cheating in this song in particular are very aware of exactly what they're doing, and that it is, as the title would suggest, a bad thing. Now, as I said while I was listening to it, I like the ascending and descending speed of the song. Old Yellow Bricks is the name of the next track. Oh wow. Coming in with a very steady rhythm. I can tell that this is going to build up really well too. Yeah. Adding a little more layers onto things. I really like the vocal melody on this verse. It's a very catchy quality to it. Oh, hell yeah, dude. There's something very infectious about this melody, and I really like that it's being used coming back. Alright. Okay, so that song definitely seems to be focusing on some small city blues, talking about wanting to get away from your city and kind of a illusioned sense of everything's great here, even though it's such a boring place. Hence the old bricks that the buildings would be made out of. Nothing happens in this town that our narrator is talking about, and coming from a similar situation myself, I can relate to the sentiments of this. That is one of the very stereotypical things that pop punk songs are about, and I definitely still feel like there's some pop punk influence on the Arctic Monkeys at this time for sure. Once again, the somewhat eerie riffs that were going on through there, those counter melodies that were, you know, giving a totally different atmosphere to it, almost filled the song with a sense of dread. Maybe that you're never going to escape this boring hometown. Cool track for sure. The last one here is 505, and now this is another one that I have heard a lot of people praise as one of their favorites. I've gotten specific requests for this song alone, outside of the whole album. I know that a lot of people really love this one, as they did with Fluorescent Adolescent, and without any further ado, let's check out the last song on this album. Okay, we're definitely getting a more melancholic kind of sound to this. Wow. It's very nice. I like the drums that are building up here. I feel like this instrumental needs a little bit more spice. I'm kind of waiting for it to blow up like that. Not that I don't like the way that it is right now. I'm very much so a fan of the peaceful atmosphere that this is taking. It really fits the lyrics. I am still kind of expecting it to switch up really dramatically at some point here. Not that I want it to necessarily, I'm just kind of waiting for that to happen. It happens right after I say it. There we go. Never mind, I definitely wanted this. Oh, this is so good. Alex has some really good vocal presence on this track. Got that second melody coming in. Liking it a lot. Oh, that's a really nice way to send it out. Alright, so I'm not gonna lie to you at all here. I am impressed. Now, I totally expected to at least like this one. I was hoping I didn't get the impression that this was a sophomore slump by the end of it, and it in no way was. There is a lot of progression here. It has some... What the fuck are you doing? It has some more mature lyrical themes on it. It once again kind of is a series of stories portraying a lot of different scenarios, a lot of things that are much more baked in nostalgia and reminiscent of the past, including this last song here. This is once again one that kind of impacts me in some ways. Going back to 505, as you'll read here, is a very vague term. It can mean a hotel number, an apartment number, a address, a street. It can mean a variety of things, but the point is it's a location. And then there's the addition of a person, a former love interest in this location. And that adds to it even further. And this song just really represents a lot of what the non-direct relationship tracks on here did. The tracks about nostalgia did. This album does deal a lot in nostalgia, in going back to the past memories and having a really good view on the past, longing for that. Nostalgia is a really powerful emotion, and it definitely does that really, really well. I am really excited to give this a lot of re-listens in the future. Like I said, I expected to like this a lot. I'm still impressed. I'm gonna have to bump it up to a 9 out of 10 rather than the 9- that I gave to the last album. I think that at least in an objective sense they're pretty close, but I think that there's quite a bit of progression that was taken on this album in comparison to the last. But let me know what you thought of this album down in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Drop a like on the video if you did like what you saw today, and subscribe to the channel for more music related content coming your way. Turn on the bell for notifications on that very same thing so you know whenever I'm covering something that you want me to cover. But that is just about going to wrap it up for this one, and I will see you in the next video.